Hi, John Toronto here, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're not doing barrel knot rosary bracelets. We're moving on to Ranger Rosaries for the troops, and I'm here today to tell you all about it. So I'm here to talk to you about the Ranger Rosaries, and I'll give you a quick background. You know, I made tons of these, thousands of these barrel knot bracelets. I retired and I go to this church, St. Paul and Ramsey, and they have a ministry there called the Ranger Rosary Ministry. I'm also a Knight of Columbus, and they asked someone from the Knights to represent the Knights in this ministry, and no one wanted to do it. It's basically the same knot that I use in the barrel knot bracelet, so I gave it a try. There's a bit of a learning curve, but I have a few tips that I think will help you make a better Ranger Rosary for our troops. So this is a completed Ranger Rosary, and you can see that the knot, it's a barrel knot, very similar to the barrel knot that I use to make the rosary bracelets, which if you want to learn how to make them, there's a link down below to make the basic bracelet, the bracelet adding beads, the bracelet adding colors, and that'll all be found down below. So while the knot is the same as the knot I used in the bracelet, the paracord is very different. This is official military grade paracord. It's flat, it's thin, it's almost like a ribbon. There is a learning curve, and I'm here to teach you how to work with this to make a official Ranger Rosary. So this is the pack that they put together, and someone in the ministry puts the paracord, the beads, and the crucifix in these bags. My recommendation to you is check your bulletin, check your church bulletin, see if you have a Ranger Rosary Ministry. If you don't, look around to churches around you, or just look up Ranger Rosary Ministry on the internet. I'm sure you'll find one close to you. So I'll show you what's in the bag. We have the paracord, which is about 5 feet long. And then we also have the plastic crucifix, and we have the beads that will all be provided to you. So let's get started. My first tip is this. The volunteers try to cut it on a nice angle so it has a point to get through the bead. And this one's pretty good. But what I like to do is I like to make it extra pointy, and then I take a lighter and I seal it up, and I get that point good and pointy so I can get the bead through easily. And I do it on the other side as well. I just take off that right side, and then I burn it to seal it up. Again, you don't want to burn yourself, so just be careful. It can get hot. It's an acrylic, and you can burn yourself. But I have a nice point that will easily make it through the bead without any problems. So this is the first knot we're going to make. It's a barrel knot, 2 loops, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The first knot needs to be about 8 inches from the end. I know my red container is about 8 inches. There's the ruler. There's 8 inches. I'm going to use a straw to help me make a better knot. I'm going to go around once. I'm going to cross over, go around twice. I'm going to put the long end of the string through the side of the straw I ended up with, and I'm going to pull it through, keeping those 2 loops in a cylinder form. And I like to think of them as like a mouth, a top lip and a bottom lip, and you want it to look nice. Close that mouth. On one side, it's 2 lips coming together, and on the other side, it just crosses over. You should have like a little X. Okay? That's your first knot. The next step is to add the 10 beads for the Hail Mary. And I like to count them out separately first. There's 5, and there's 4, there's 10. There's 10 now. And starting from the long end, I'm just going to simply bead all 10 of them on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10, and now I'm ready to do the knot to seal them up. So to secure the first decade of the rosary, the first 10 Hail Marys, you have to make a knot that's very snug, very close to the 10 beads. So I'm going to do 2. You're coming around. You're feeding it through the end that you ended up with. And here's where you want to be really careful. You want to pull the string all the way through, and you want to pull that first lip of the knot down. Once that's secure and right up against the beads, then you want to bring the top part of the knot down, and you want it nice and snug. You don't want any movement, or as little movement as possible. So a lot of people make a mistake here because a lot of people say, oh, there's the knot for the Our Father. You don't want a knot for the Our Father. You want a bead for the Our Father. So I'm going to add 1 bead for the Our Father, pull it through, and then I want to secure it with a double knot. 1, 2. Side I ended up with, I'm going to put that long piece of string through the straw. Pull it through. You don't want anything to get stuck in the loop. And then you want to pull that first lip down. Remember, it's a spiral, so you want to go around and pull down in a spiral as well. Once it's nice and snug up against that Our Father knot, you can bring down the top part of the knot, make it as snugly as possible. Because if it's not snugly, it's ugly and it won't pass inspection. So on this one, I added all 5 decades with 1, 2, 3, 4 Our Father beads, because I'll show you how the 5th one shortly. A little trick, my straw, I cut to the length of 10 beads so you can very quickly inspect that you have 10 beads where you want 10 beads, okay? Make sure there's an Our Father bead between each decade, okay? And now I'm going to show you how to add the 5th Our Father bead. That's coming up next. So this is the 5th Our Father bead, and I'm going to show you how to add that right now. You need to complete it 5 decades, and you want to take the Our Father bead, the 5th Our Father bead, and slip both ends through. Make sure it's even. Make sure the Our Father bead is snugly up against the first and last knot. Remember, those are double knots. This next knot is going to be a triple knot. If you look here, it's a little thicker, it's a little bigger. It's a triple knot. It's done the same way, but what I do is I put the longer string on top. I put the longer string on top, and I put the smaller string on the bottom, and I'm going to go around once, twice, 3 times. The side I ended up with, that's the side I'm going to go in. And I'm going to pull it, push the straw through. And here I'm going to push. I'm pulling both strings, pushing that triple knot back against the Our Father bead so it's nice and snug. Next, we're going to add the 3 Hail Mary beads. Those are the beads for faith, an increase of faith, hope, and charity. if you look over here, this short one we no longer use. That's later on when it's inspected thoroughly multiple times. That will be cut and burned once it's okayed to be finished. So the long piece, I'm going to put the faith, hope, and charity bead, slide it on, and I'm going to seal it up with a double knot. Okay, 1, 2, coming around, putting it through, pulling it through. I want to get that double knot. I want to get that one lip real close to that first, actually it's the first Hail Mary knot. And then once I have it snug, I'm going to pull the top part of the knot down against it, applying pressure so it's nice and snug. So I'm going to add the Our Father knot, the last triple knot. There's only 2 triple knots. This is the last one. And I'm going to add the crucifix all in this step. So the string is flat. I'm adding the Our Father bead. And then I'm going to add the crucifix by entering from behind. And then I'm going to end this with a triple knot. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take my straw, take that long piece, go around once, go around twice, go around 3 times. You want to get the end through the straw on the side you ended up with, the side you're closest to, and you're going to pull it through. And here, you want to pull the extra string up, and you want to make sure that the crucifix lays flat. And now we're ready for this one that we just finished to be inspected along with this one. So getting involved in this ministry, it was challenging at the first, but I grew to love it. And I got to employ my barrel knots. I got to learn a new way of making an entire rosary. And then I combined the two, and I was able to make a complete knotted rosary on my own using the information I learned from the Ranger Rosary and combining it with my little rosary bracelet. Joe and I will be doing a video on how to make a complete knotted rosary soon. So if you could like and subscribe, you'll find out how to do that. It's not that difficult. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you'll get involved with the Ranger Rosary Project. I hope you'll like and subscribe. And more importantly, say a rosary every day. Remember our troops. God bless America.